you think Bitcoin will be a big part of everyone's future?
I don't think Bitcoin will be a part of everybody's future, but the technology behind Bitcoin, the blockchain technology definitely will. Have a strategy, and once you've figured out the one that's right for you, commit to it and continue to watch it grow, and do it early. I invest in things that I understand. That's my strategy, to see what's going on. What's the average person doing? So many people are reading those hot tips, depending on who's putting it out there, then everybody will go and buy them. And that will artificially inflate the price.
You could see your portfolio drop the time last year, March 2020, when we saw everything drop because of COVID. What was your line of thought at that time? What were you doing at the time where we saw global markets drop at that very point in time? Were you, I'm just gonna wait and see how this goes before I deploy more capital, or were you very, very aggressive already, or were you thinking the world's about to end? What were you thinking at that time?
This is when I was thinking, oh my God, there's a car and a boat and a jet ski. I went and researched how long did it take to bounce back for the GFC. And I went and had a look at some of the massive impacts that we had had historically, where things dipped and how long they took to come back. I, of course, in hindsight, probably would have put more in. I reckon I tripled the amount that I would normally put in, but I didn't chuck loads in because I didn't expect it to return so quickly. I thought that we might be looking at 18 months rather than 2 to 3 months for it to bounce back. So I didn't panic because I knew that it would come back. I just didn't think that it would come back so quickly.
Fast forward to where we are right now. It's March 2021 and markets are considerably higher from where they were last year. For those that are entering just now, given the current levels, what do you think should be a strategy? And I'll put some context into this. This is money that people don't need, and probably this is for 20 years that they don't also plan to touch.
We're having quite a bit of volatility at the moment, and I think it's because a lot of them are artificially inflated because of the boosts that the governments have been doing to bolster the economy. We're still not sure what the long-term effects of COVIDs will be. So, we've had a lot of growth over the last year. There's part of me that thinks a lot of the stuff that I've got is tech. So if we look at things like PayPal as well, I think that the way that we live have changed permanently. You want to be looking at your portfolio and making sure that you build it around those things. If you're investing right now, we are in something that I think is a little bit artificially high, so expect it to dip. But if you're in there for the long haul, then you're going to realize some good gains. I think that people as well, at some stage in their journey, need to learn how to read a balance sheet, read a cash statement, to understand a company's financial position. And I'll also follow companies on LinkedIn, and I'll look at what they're doing. As I mentioned before, I look at how they're servicing their customers, how they're looking after their employees, because it's a whole package.
Looking at your portfolio, one of your largest positions is XRP. And I'm so curious about that because not a lot of people are really talking about XRP right now.
Mainly a mistake. So, but I'm not selling it because I'm still losing quite a bit on there. So here is learning for me, and other people should learn by these mistakes. The things that make you come unstuck are greed and fear. I was on the crypto bandwagon. I'm like, this is fantastic. I'm making loads of money. This is great. Took money out of my savings, which I wouldn't recommend people do. I wasn't thinking about my long-term strategy in the way that I do now. I was greedy. I could see people making money. I wanted in. And I was scared of missing out. Okay, what if I miss this? With the Ripple, for me, absolutely transparent and honest. Mistake. Would not do it again. For me, too much money in something that I know nothing about because I was scared of missing out and I wanted to make this money. And it's a really good, if not expensive, learning curve it's like, Sharon, you don't do that. You don't understand what this technology is. You don't put all of your eggs in one basket. You don't invest to make a quick buck overnight. That's not what you do. And for me, it was like, now what do? You invest in things that you know, and you leave it in there for long term.
Very sobering reminder for everyone right now, especially that there's so much attention in cryptocurrencies that people try to invest too fast without studying, especially the ones that are relatively smaller, and they just see it go up by hundreds of percent in a couple of days, and they might be the last one holding the bag as well.
Yeah. But it's interesting because when you go to eToro, it says, what does Sharon trade frequently? And I haven't traded that for something like 3 years. And it's actually a smallish percentage of my holdings when you look at what I've got in Microsoft and Apple, etc. But it does flash up at the bottom.
I like what you did also, because that's how important diversification is. If it was primarily XRP or Dash and more cryptocurrencies, dips of that would have massively hit your portfolio. But since you scattered everything well, the good ones also covered for some of the positions that are not as good. Do you think Bitcoin will be a big part of everyone's future?
I don't think Bitcoin will be a part of everybody's future, but the technology behind Bitcoin, the blockchain technology, definitely will. What do you think?
I think it will be a store of value. It will be how people consider gold or art right now. I don't, because part of the technologies, it takes a lot of time for the transactions to be confirmed. I don't think people will be waiting that much just to pay for a coffee to wait for your transaction to be finished. So I think there may be other cryptocurrencies that will somehow later be that. But I don't think Bitcoin will go to zero anymore.
Well, let's hope for my sake that they're XRP and Dash that I can put on my Apple Watch. And it sounds better as well, doesn't it? I'm going to dash that.
I like XRP actually. Coming from a Philippine context, there's a lot of Filipinos who are out of Manila that are remitting right here, and that will disrupt a lot of banks where it takes a lot of time to send your money from one point to another. I think they just got hit by the regulations in the US, but
that's the thing with any of those. The regulators can just crush something.
If there's one trait that you have that you would want to convey to people that this made you successful in investing, even though you have a business, you have a job, what is that one trait that people also need to focus on when they start investing?
People should just give it a go. So on eToro, you can go into you've got this really cool virtual trading thing. And what you can do is you can play around. Because sometimes if I say to somebody, what's your risk appetite? They go, I don't know what you mean. I don't really understand. And this is where they need to find out. So do you want to buy something and sell it for a quick profit? Do you want to keep doing that over and over again? Or are you happy to set and forget? And I think people just need to start and figure out what feels good for them. Is it good to copy somebody else, or do you like to play around yourself? So I think start. And you know what? If it's not right for you, try something else. Because there's managed funds, there's ETFs, there's robo investors, there's the bank, just don't put it in a shoebox under your bed. Just start and make a decision, have a strategy, and once you've figured out the one that's right for you, commit to it and continue to watch it grow, and do it early.
Amazing. Time is the greatest arbitrage in investing, and I like what you said, because I really believe that there's no perfect investment, but there's a perfect investment that fits you, and what works for Sharon may not work for me, and what works for me may not work for Sharon as well. Before we put this to a close, what can people expect when they copy you? And guys, please copy Sharon if you guys want to have passive returns in a way that is invested by someone who has done it well over the years. And it's nice to see someone, you have been investing in eToro way before a lot of the popular investors have been investing.
Yeah.
And that's something that's very, very unique.
I go and meet the guys from eToro. They have an office in Sydney, and I've been investing with it longer than most of them have been working there. So it's cool. And I do a lot of stuff for them. I did a lot of promotions for them, particularly around women in finance, which is great. So what you can expect from me is continual top-ups of what I call the bread and butter, your winner chicken dinner stuff. We're going to continue to invest moderately in Microsoft and Google and Netflix and Apple and PayPal and Amex, the big companies that are going to continually grow. We're going to be adding a bit more in the areas which are supporting small business. So this is the Fiverr, the Etsy. Again, thinking about what we all use all day, every day. Spotify, everybody's listening to Spotify, and then looking at some of these emerging ones. I still think it's not doing brilliantly, but I still think that if we look at what's happening to society, the meatless meat companies like Beyond Meat, I think that they've still got quite a way to go. So for me, that is, both of my kids are vegans and they're very passionate about it. And, they're not the only ones. There's a whole generation that is really concerned about energy, so your Tesla, your battery storage. And what I think people are doing in these as well is everybody's doing side hustles, like we're doing, like me, I'm doing my trading. Everybody is thinking one job is not enough. I need to do things on the side. I need to protect myself. So if my job goes, what else can I do? Whether I'm painting or knitting or upcycling flower pots or whatever. I think a lot of people have turned to hobbies and it's increasingly easy to monetize them. And there's a lot of companies supporting that. So we'll see more investments in those areas.
Got it. Well said. And I hope you guys got a lot from this. What I'll do is I'll try to put Sharon's eToro profile here if you want to check her out. And please do watch how she has evolved and done very, very well through the years in her portfolio.
I love a question too. If anybody wants to ask me a question, particularly a question that I can't answer, because that means I have to go and find it out and learn. And it's important that we all learn all the time because it's a very different world. Every single day it's a very different world, so we have to look at what is the situation today because it's not like it was before. So really happy to answer any questions and people to say, why did you do that? Okay, let me explain why I did that.
So yeah, you can converse with her via the eToro platform as well. So thank you so much, Sharon, for the time. I hope it was something that was insightful for you as well. But to everyone, I hope that this is something that you enjoyed and not just enjoyed, you learned from this. And I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon. And
go make loads of money. See ya.